before, or? You're muted.
I'm sure.
Sorry, I was going to ask you a couple questions about your local law, but
Hi, Zach, is that you? Hi, how are you?
Hey, Catherine, how are you doing? Just so you know, we're live on Facebook and YouTube, so
Okay,
you're on candid camera.
lovely.
How are you? How you doing?
Good, how are you? Are we able to do share screen for video?
Yeah, do you want to test? Do you want to test yours out real quick while we?
Sure, I thought it was a couple minutes before. I know the last time I was just getting in at the nick of time, right?
Sure. Go ahead and test it out. You can share.
Yeah, let me just try. Well, I'll just do something real quick to share. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Van Riper. How are you, sir?
See.
Good to see you, Dan.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Not too bad. I finally paid the dues.
I thank you very much, and I updated the website and I think the agenda. So in a minute. So
That was you did a good job there last night.
what'd you think overall?
Well,
We're live on Facebook. So
well, I understand that. I actually did a write up on Facebook, so
I read it.
It's kind of out there.
I read it. Yeah.
I thought the mayor did pretty well. I was disappointed with Valerie Faust. Didn't have enough. Didn't have enough solid proposals, I thought, and I thought the Repub candidate was ridiculous. Let's just say that. With her behavior, I thought her behavior was absolutely terrible. Yeah, I mean, she just kept making faces and bobbing her head and carrying on. I'm not sure if it was.
I think
the Historical Association.
Are we hearing music?
Yeah, I can hear it perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll just stop this. Yep. All right, we tested it. It's fine.
Thank you very much. Great.
Thank you for letting me test.
So Dan, I think just people on the Zoom could just.
Oh, I'm sure of it, but I've already made all these statements publicly, so it doesn't really matter.
Were you on the Zoom? You were on the Zoom. You weren't watching on.
Oh, I wasn't on the Zoom. I was just watching.
Oh, okay.
But I did a write up of the
yeah, I read that
thing and put it out in public. So
great. Hi, Howie.
How you doing?
What'd you think? Did you watch last night?
Yeah, I thought it was good. You know, after you, well, the real question is, how do you think it? You were there, right?
I thought it went as far as a forum. I think it went as smooth as it could have been.
Yeah, it went very good. You know, but after they ask enough questions, the answers start to sound alike.
Did anybody else watch the forum last night?
Yes.
What'd you think, Louise?
I'm glad that the mayor has had her shot. I was a little concerned about the challengers' lack of knowledge about public health.
right.
Dan was too. But I thought that the league and Susan and everybody did a great job. It was very smooth. You're right.
Absolutely. You all did a great job.
Great. Well, thank you very, very much. It was well, it was several weeks in planning. I'll tell you right now, several weeks. So it turned out pretty good. So we have Officer Hara again. Thank you very much, sir. Officer Johnson, the police department. Let's see, we have a representative from PAL. Hi. Do you want to unmute yourself from PAL? Gotta unmute yourself there.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, and who are you, please?
We are from Albany, PAL. My name's Allie Robert. I'm the program manager at PAL.
And I'm Sherry Rose. I'm the office manager.
Oh, hi, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good, how are you?
Great, excellent. Oh, we got a bunch of people coming. Okay. And our Our Cana secretary Glenise says she is not going to be on tonight, but it's being recorded. She'll do the meeting minutes later, and I'll take attendance.
All right, I'll see you later.
Oh,
Hi,
bye-bye.
Zachary. Good morning, Zachary.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, hey Ed, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Oh boy, everybody's coming in quick. Hi, hey Helen.
Hi.
Jeff Crumpton. Hi Jeff. Hillary. Jeff and Hillary.
Hello.
Okay, we got Gloria. All right. All right, we're just going to give another minute or two, folks, okay? Sit tight. All right, everybody, why don't we get the show on the road? Good evening, everybody. Everybody here on the Zoom, on Facebook, YouTube. It's the Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021 Council of Albany Neighborhood Associations. We call the meeting to order at 6:31. I'm Zach Simpson, the chairman of Cana. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And all right, so we're just going to get things started pretty quick tonight. We've got a pretty busy schedule, so I just want to keep things moving along. And if you can mute yourselves, if you're not talking, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. To start out tonight, I just wanted to turn things over to our Common Council President, Corey Ellis. He did ask to come and speak to Cana about the formation of a public safety commission. So I just wanted him to go first tonight. And if he's ready, thank you, President Ellis, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Zach. I don't know. I know you have a lot. How much time do I have? Because I want to make sure I'm conscious of people's time. How much
Don't worry.
time?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. This ideal of public safety commission came out of when Dr. Green came in front of the council and many council members after the collaborative had did the work they've done. The collaborative did a lot of work, valuable work, great work. But council members and community members felt that, okay, now that these recommendations happen, what now? How do they get implemented? When do they get implemented? How does the community have a say, and how does this happen? And so Dr. Green came in front of the council and talked about coming up with a plan for this to happen. She also talked about a plan with a mission statement so that people could understand what the purpose was going to be and how we're going to move forward and transform when we talk about real police reform, what that meant. And so at the time, council members had agreed that us passing the recommendations was the first step. And I had said I would work with Dr. Green and others to come up with ways where we can make sure the collaborative recommendations are implemented, but implemented with communities' involvement, with an emphasis on community policing. And so we've been meeting as a small group, people from groups of some ACPAC members, CPRB members, labor members, and community members have been just meeting small group to come up with a concept of community policing that we'd like to see. And so I don't know if I can share my screen. Can I share my screen? I should have asked you that earlier, Zach.
Yep, go right ahead.
Let me pull this. Let me pull up. There we go. Okay. Okay, why is it not coming up? Can you guys see that? Share. Open system. You should be able to see it now. You can't see it? Huh. Keep saying open system. Oh my goodness. Don't know why. Well, since you can't, can you see it? No?
Nope.
Unbelievable. Well, let me read it to you. The vision statement of what we came up with it's called the Public Safety Commission Vision Statement. I can read it to you. Together with Albany County, Albany Community Police Advisory Committee, which is ACPAC, Center for Law and Justice, Community Police Review Board, NAACP, Albany Chapter, and Albany County Central Federation of Labor, a vision statement to transform policing and enhance public safety was developed. And the vision statement goes as follows. The city of Albany envisions a commission of public safety that decouples public safety. The commission's public safety from policing, center community voices, and ends systematic racism. The commission embraces the 4 pillars of procedural justice, treating people with dignity and respect, giving citizens a voice during encounters, being open and transparent in decision-making, and conveying trustworthy motives. The Public Safety Commission will ensure the evaluation of the concepts of community policing into the practice of public safety. A guiding principle of the Public Safety Commission is sanctity of life. That at the core of an officer's responsibility is the duty to protect all human life and physical safety. And that is the mission statement that we came up with. It will be introduced in our local law on Monday. It was local law L with that vision statement in there. The local law is not finished, not completed, because what we're doing now is what we've been doing is we're reaching out to community members. We reached out, we met with NAACP, we met with CPRB already. We're going to be meeting with ACPAC members, also community members starting this week. They will be out in the community talking to people about what they would like to see this commission do, what they would like to see, how this commission will be formed. And all this came out because we got to a point where, and when you talk about reform and you talk about anything, we 16 years ago, probably less than maybe 14, when I was a city councilman, the council did a great job with, we had a gun violence task force, and that gun violence task force had some great recommendations in it about how do we stem gun violence in our city. Some of those recommendations were implemented, some weren't. And why? Because what happened was the council came up with these recommendations, and it was just submitted to the executive branch of government. They could do it or they couldn't. There was no way to make sure that those recommendations were implemented. It was left up to the corner office to do that. So with my experience in government and seeing that and understanding when you are transforming something, because we're talking about major reform, a different way of not just policing, but making sure that it is community-based and it stays no matter who occupies the corner office. So like anything in our federal government, when we had a housing and urban development problem in the urban cities with white flight and African-Americans trying to move into certain neighborhoods and we're redlining out, Lyndon Johnson came up with the HUD program because he knew if we were going to correct this problem, we haven't had an entity that was going to be focused on it and that was going to make sure there was a difference. When 9/11 unfortunately happened to this country, our country realized that our law enforcement agencies were not connecting, not talking to one another on a regular basis to prevent something like that. So we came up with Homeland Security. So we did this comprehensive reform, a collaborative, and we had no entity that was going to oversee it other than the corner office. We had no entity that was going to make sure the community involvement and the community engagement stayed there. And so this is the reason for this commission, is to continue to have community engagement with community members. And part of how we want to structure it, and the local law, just really quickly, is the council and the mayors will have appointments like we do to CPRB, appoint those members. They'll be interviewed, there'll be public hearing on these members, and they will be tasked to carry out those collaboratives recommendations. Also, we will have the commission look at, as we know, people have talked about calls that our police department receives, and which calls should not be an officer, but could be professionals, like when we talk about mental illness, other calls where it's not penal or violation. Who could be that? That's when in my press conference I talked about neighborhood peace officers. They could help answer some of those calls. I just say that as a name. It could be commission could come up with a different name, whatever the name is. We want to make sure that calls that our police department does not need to have happen go to them. Because right now our police department 911 is called, they answer every call. I just received a report yesterday, thanks to the Center of Law and Justice, on the amount of calls that was over 100,000 calls that they tracked from last year to this May. 34% of those calls were non-penal calls. Basically, those were calls that police officers did not need to respond to. The ones that were more penal was 24% of those calls where an officer should have been present. And then there's 41% of calls that are non-qualified. Like they couldn't make a decision whether it should be an officer or not an officer. And something like that, when you get these reports, if you have this department, they could be overseeing that and saying, okay, these are the calls we want to make sure our police department, our police officers come to. These are the calls that a professional or neighborhood engagement officers should be responding to. So for me, it's not so much as what is in the law, it is creating the entity that is going to deal with this. The cries of community involvement and the cries of making sure our officers, where we don't need to have a police officer show up, that we have the right individual or the right professional showing up on those calls. And how we're doing that, as I said, we're doing it by these type of meetings, answering questions and taking down your suggestions. Also, we have what we call a feedback form. We have a feedback form that we're asking people to submit. And I hope, Zachary, what I'd like to do is give you that information. It's a link. So your members and get it out to all the neighborhood associations, and they can go into that link and the feedback form and fill it out. And we're capturing that data. And once we capture that data, we're going to report back to folks. Let me see if I can put the link in the chat.
Sure, that'd be great. And I'll send it out on the listserv.
I thought it should have came up as a link.
Oh.
Well, why is that coming up why is this not working today?
It's all right.
It worked all right before. It's not working today. Why is it not? Let's see. Let's try it one more time.
That's okay. We got time. Does anybody have any questions? We have time for maybe a couple questions. Anybody have questions? Before I move on.
Yeah, Zach, this is Howie. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Corey, you talked about kind of doing that triage about who responds to the calls.
Mhm.
But what's the current level of staffing at the people who take the calls at 911? And that wouldn't that in this proposal, wouldn't that put a burden upon them to refer that to the right person?
Well, that could be discussed, right? We in this area, we just don't have 911. We have 211 that we could look at as being a way to a number that could call where it's when we really go through what is a police call, what should the police be called on, and what should a regular, person, whatever that comes up, whatever that looks like, you could implement 211 calls. But when we talk about staffing, of course, you're going to need staff, right? And as I said before, and I'll continue to say again, no one has shown me how and why we can't staff a call center.
Yeah, well, that's why I was curious.
We get tons of resumes, hundreds of resumes. And the last time I was told we were 12 down, we need 12 more, and we have hundreds of resumes for a job, that is, entry level. When we talk entry level, that means you need at least a high school diploma to start off in that job. So if I have 100 resumes and I have 12 positions, you need to tell me I can't find 12 people with a high school diploma that can be trained to do this job? So until I start getting, and I've said this to the chief, I've said to anyone, until we start getting information on the applications, Why were they turned down? How many you received? And why were these individuals that you interviewed, if you did interview them, how many you interviewed? And why were they not acceptable to get that job? Because then once you understand that, then you understand, okay, there's a problem we might have with finding people. And that doesn't happen. We just hear we can't find anybody, but they have applications.
So let me ask you, so going to the staffing note, that do you have to be an Albany resident to work at the
Yes.
911 desk?
Yes.
Right. So like most call centers, right? Because that 911 call center could be anywhere. I'm not saying it should be in India,
Mhm.
but if we don't have enough people,
Okay.
you can hire people.
Laundry.
Dan Van Riper has his hand up.
Mr. Ellis, I want to know if this sounds very innovative. Do you have, are there any precedents for this in other communities for this system that's being proposed?
Well, I haven't found any precedents, but we've known throughout the country, this is where the country's moving towards. And when you're talking about police reform, we always think about police officers, right? And police reform is just not about the officer. Police reform is about public safety, right? We always think about, when we look at our officers, we say we want our officers to get home safe. Absolutely. But we want citizens, if they interact with our police officers, to get home safely as well. We also want to make sure that our police department and our 911 callers are not being overburdened by calls that they don't need to handle. That's why I said 211 can be an option. That's why if you appoint this commission, they would be getting a look at that. 211 could be the option where we start educating our city residents. This is when you call 911. This is when you call 211. So that way we have a system set up and they figure out how to integrate that. These are just things I'm saying now, right? What is more important is to create the entity that begins to tackle these things, these questions, and that is citizen driven, citizen led. My view is the commission would hire an executive director, and that executive director would be following what is in front of those commissions, commissioners, for lack of a better word right now. And we move things forward. That's the purpose of this. I believe that citizens have spoken about community policing. They want a voice in that, and just allowing the executive branch of government to be that only voice, I think it doesn't fall in the realm of what we're seeing and what people are asking for.
Okay, got a couple more hands up. We have Kelly Hausler and Beverwick and John O'Grady, West End, and Hillary. Hillary has her hand up, and Helderberg. 1, 2, 3, and then we got to move on.
Yep. Thank you.
Kelly, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kelly Hausler. I'm with Beverwick Neighborhood Association.
Hello, Kelly.
Hi. So I'm nowhere near at your level of understanding how these systems work and what the good paths are, but I track this stuff. So I'm a social worker at Office of Mental Health Central Office, and I am on a lot of webinars trying to learn about how other places in New York State and in the country are using these coordinated systems.
Yes.
And so I don't know all the mechanics of who, I have a lot of confidence that there's a triage system, people who know how to take these calls and put it into, this can be definitely police, this can be definitely a social worker, this can be, I don't know. And then I'm confident that there's things I could learn from them to figure out which goes.
There's a model they're using in Seattle as right now that I've been researching, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. Neat. I don't think I've come across that one yet. So I hear a lot of stories about programs who, there's still some social workers who are like, they're scared of working with the police. There's still some programs where it's more police and they're scared that, things could get out of hand. But there's a lot of models where they're like, you know what? We know each other. Our police and our social workers, they know each other, they trust each other, they know when to fill in for each other and work together. And maybe they go out and they don't, maybe the police don't even have uniforms on or blazing lights on the cars. So they develop these systems and they work together. So I feel like there's a ton of precedent. So I'll have to look up Seattle, but if there's anything, I might, find a way through Zach to share some information. If there's a way I'm interested in this. I'd like to be helpful if possible, Corey.
Yes, and what I forgot the name of the organ is the group, but what they do is they hire a firm that deals with the social workers, and it's like farmed out, and they interact and they make those calls. But as I said, we're going to need like somebody like yourself, Ms. Hauser. We're going to need somebody like you to be advising us and telling us what you know, using your expertise along the way. And this is that's what we talk about when we talk about community involvement. You would need somebody in the commission who would be a social worker who's been, you know what I'm saying with that? So they can say, okay, this is how we can set it up. This is really a community driven issue. And that's what we want. We want the community engaged and said, this is direction we should go, and on that commission to do that. So thank you. I got your name down.
Awesome.
Beaver with me.
I'll be watching for you, Corey. Yeah, thank you for talking tonight.
But we're definitely going to get the feedback link to Zach.
Love that.
So
That's
Zach,
awesome.
when I get it to you, can you please put up? I don't know why it's coming out not as a link in the chat, but it's called Albany Public Commission Feedback. It's a quick form. It asks you like 12 questions. You boop, boop, and then you send it. It goes strictly to the Law and Justice Center, and they're tracking all this information.
Great. All right, John O'Grady, go ahead.
It doesn't have your name, by the way. It asks you a zip code. So we're tracking it by zip code.
I'm John O'Grady from the West End. I think what needs to be addressed, I'm not saying it can't be, but it needs to be, is that I think that the calls that go to the police department are never predictable. So for example, you get a noise complaint, and 95% of the time a noise complaint, a social worker or some mediator person in the community can handle it. But then there are the 5% that might get dangerous. And I think that needs to be addressed.
Well, I think that's when we look at the calls, right, there is a system. And that's why I talked about, if you're talking about the stats, we have over 41,000 calls right now. I'll just pull it up on I think it's 41,000 calls that we don't have, we don't have a name for. And I think that's where we're going to we need to figure out, why is that? Like, why is there, it says the community safety category represents 34% of the calls. That's community safety. That's, somebody's calling my neighbors, the music's too loud, a guy might be walking down the street drunk. Those are calls where we believe like a neighborhood engagement peace officers can make. Then you have law enforcement, represents 24% of the calls. Situations likely that deal with penal violations. That is what an officer's job is to do. Penal violations, they handle that. Then you have 41% need more information category. Where does that come from? We have to ask the police department, since you guys are tracking this and you're in charge of this, what does need more information? Why is that number so high? Is it because the callers aren't giving you enough information? Is it because the staff might be overworked in the call center and they can't? Those are the things that we need to know. And so when you're looking at it, right, it is about being efficient. And I know for a fact, our police officers would rather not have to answer calls that doesn't deal with penal code violations. They would rather not have to be at a Washington, the Tulip Festival, 20 at a time, if they can have 10 and 10 other people are the neighborhood peacekeepers. I know our police officers would not rather have to go to a site and file a police report because, hey, I came out and somebody flattened my tire. That can be written by a regular person. That officer can be doing something else, and those resources can be channeled someplace else rather than, because I'm pretty sure you guys live in Albany. You had times where a police officer like, aren't you guys gonna go? No, we're on this call. And so those are things where we want to look at, the commission to look at, and to have that information to make sound decisions. And I'll end on this note. For centuries, we've been allowing the police department and executives of the cities to make those decisions. And we're here in 2021, and people are saying it didn't work. Just what didn't work. So we need to move forward and try new things and engage the community in a different way. We can no longer allow the whim of community policing and public safety to be at whoever the next chief is. there needs to be a standard. There needs to be a plan that is consistent, and that is what citizens want. So whoever is chief and who's ever mayor, they understand this is how we deal with public safety in the city of Albany.
Okay, we got one more question from Hillary in Helderberg, and then we're going to go to Albany Police Department with the Department of.
Thanks so much, Corey, for your leadership, and all of this is great information. Just one follow-up question. Youth are a critical stakeholder in this entire situation. Have you focused your outreach efforts on youth? I know there have been speak outs, and as part of that, in terms of being innovative, I've seen other civic models where there's actually a youth representative built onto a commission. Is that something you'd consider?
Absolutely. I mean, this commission, this law is flowing. The Central Labor Council, they've decided to take the lift on getting people to go to the community, and they're doing a great job, and they are young people. So we are looking at this as an inclusive matter from every neighborhood. That's why I'll come talk to your neighborhood associations if you need me to, because we want to hear from everyone. The more data we collect, the stronger the law can be, and the better your council members can say, I can support this because my community weighed in on this. And that's what we're looking for. And that's all it is. I just said, whatever we come up with, it should go under some umbrella where there's community members who are part of that solution, and not just because the executive says it, that's the way it is. And then people push back. I think there's a coalition that we can build here. And I'm not discounting the mayor's office. And when I say the mayor, it's not about the mayor who's currently there. It's about any mayor, that I believe we can figure out how to marriage this together with executive branch of government and legislative branch of government can come with a formula where it is transparent and community driven.
Okay, well, thank you, President Ellis, very much for joining us. We did have Maria Markovich with Housing for All. She was supposed to be here tonight, so we had some extra time. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And Zach, I will get you those 2 links.
You bet.
Get out to your members. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, thank you. So we're going to go over the Albany Police Department. We have Officers Johnson, Wallace, and Harrigan. Then we have the representatives from the PAL program on deck. Okay.
Hey, everybody, can you hear me good? I'm Justin Wallace. I'm one of 3 community service officers with the Albany Police Department. I cover Zone 11, that's uptown. I'm temporarily covering Arbor Hill. Obviously, we had a busy May this year, very violent, lots of shootings. We had several homicides. I'm sure that's on everyone's minds. Just let everyone know we're actively investigating all those cases, and we're being very progressive with that. We have a lot of leads. We've made arrests so far. I can't really go into detail with a lot of it due to the fact it's being investigated right now. I put my contact information in the chat for anybody here. You guys feel free to contact me anytime via email. My cell phone's there. I put our non-emergency number there also. Crime stats across the city, we always talk about motor vehicle theft. Make sure everyone's keeping their cars locked, keep your valuables out. If anyone sees anything, make sure you're calling us, the 438-4000. You can always email us. If you guys have any questions, concerns, please feel free to email me. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Not sure if Sergeant Harrigan has anything.
No, Justin, you covered it very good. Thank you for informing everybody. Hi, for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Sergeant Joseph Harrigan. I work days down at South Station. I'm one of 4 NEU sergeants, 2 on days, 2 on evenings. My area is Park South, Arbor Hill, the South End, and all, pretty much all the areas down there, pretty much everything east of Lark Street, let's say. But it's very nice to meet everybody. Some people I haven't seen. Miss Purdy or Mrs. Purdy, sorry about that. First time I've seen you on here. Welcome. Everybody else, I recognize everybody. Councilman Ellis, how are you tonight? Everybody, thank you, for allowing us to be part of the meeting tonight.
I also just wanted to add, if anyone knows anybody that needs help with car seats, child passenger safety, you can just tell everyone to email carseats@albanyny.gov. Emails come to me and I can help them install car seats, go over their child passenger safety seats. Also, we're trying to reach out to the community. We're doing our pop-up grab and go series for 2021. We had 6 events scheduled. We lost 2 of them. We had our first one last week in the South End. We have a couple, we have, I think, 3 more coming. We're not gonna say them out loud, but we flyer the area the night before, trying to target that particular community. And we usually serve anywhere from 200 to 300 meals, hot dog, hamburger, a chip, and a bottle of water. So to be continued with that. That's always appreciated by the neighborhoods. And it's been a while since we've been out there. So we're looking forward to doing that for the communities. But that's all I got, guys. You have any questions?
Councilmember Flynn, go ahead.
Hey, Justin, you said that you're part of the Uptown neighborhood. Can you explain that area so people have an idea?
Yeah, so if you go on to the city of Albany, it's zone 11. It's basically, my area goes from Lark Street west. I go up Western Avenue all the way out to Guilderland, and I go all the way over to Bethlehem. So if you're in that area, I cover you. And then anywhere is from Western Avenue over to Central Avenue all the way out. That's Community Service Officer Dan Webster. Arbor Hill, North Albany currently does not have a community service officer. So I'm temporarily covering Arbor Hill. Dan Webster's covering North Albany. And Kevin Singh has the South End. So he's Lark Street, basically to Bethlehem, down to the river, over to State Street.
Well, that was a follow-up to my question is, so are you going to neglect the Uptown or are you just doing both?
Nope, I do both. So I'm doing Arbor Hill pretty much remotely through emails, my phone. I still have my phone. I was a beat cop over there for about 6 years. So I've continuously taken care of them through the transition with the retirements and everything like that. So it's been going pretty well. All the folks out there have my number. Uptown, I've been up there for a little while now. If I'm trying to keep up with the website, so that's always a struggle keeping that updated. So I've been working pretty continuously on that, keeping that updated. So if you just spread the word, check the Albany Police webpage under neighborhood engagement, you can find your officers there. Wherever there's not a beat officer, the community service officers act as such.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my dog. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was unmuted.
You're good.
Does anybody
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin.
Anybody else have questions for the APD? All right. All right. Thank you, officers, as always, for joining us on our CANA meetings. And don't forget, we do break for July and August. So we'll be back in September. So we have two sets of presentations tonight, everybody. First up, it's going to be representatives from the Albany Police Athletic League. We have Youth Program Manager Ali Robert and their Administrative Manager Sherry Rose. And then coming up afterwards, we have Catherine Costa, the Executive Director of Tenbrook Mansion, Albany County Historical Association. So Pal, whenever you're ready, thank you for joining us. Go right ahead. Just unmute yourself.
We have a presentation, so I'm going to share my screen.
Sure.
Is that this one? Can anybody seen it? Maybe. Can we see it?
I think we're good. Yep, everybody can see it.
Okay, cool. So just to start off, this is mainly to inform everyone about all of the programming that we do at PAL and ways that we serve the youth within the community and the community members. I'm sure everyone knows who Lenny is. He's our executive director. Sherry is our office manager. My name is Allie. I'm the program manager. We have Jocelyn Pettit, who's our administrative specialist, and Justin Burke is our athletic coordinator.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about our history. Albany PAL was founded in April of 1988 by a group of Albany business leaders, clergy, state and local professionals, representatives from state and local youth service agencies, and sworn members of the APD under then Chief John Reed. And it was organized by then Sergeant Robert Wolfgang. Their goals and ideas for the program carry through to our mission today, more than 33 years later. PAL began as a series of one-day events, beginning with a citywide field day held at Bleecker Stadium, and has grown over the years to serve thousands of city youth each year with various recreational, educational, and social opportunities designed to keep youth engaged in positive behavior in a safe, nurturing environment while instilling self-respect, discipline, and developing character and teamwork in our youth. PAL is governed by a board of directors, which represents a myriad of local businesses, organizations, and backgrounds. Membership in PAL programs is free and open to all youth living in or attending school in the city of Albany, regardless of race, creed, color, sexual orientation, or preferred gender expression. PAL is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which primarily serves youth ages 4 to 18 years of age and their families. PAL is not a part of the Albany Police Department, but we are partners together with them to help establish relationships between city youth and the law enforcement officers in a friendly, relaxed environment. Albany PAL offers a myriad of programs, one-day events and trips, sports and clubs on a year-round basis. PAL after-school clubs offer homework help, mentoring, and after-school care for school-aged children in a licensed facility. During non-school hours and school breaks, PAL offers full day care for children. During the recent pandemic, PAL continued its daily care for children of essential employees, giving those kids a safe place to go while parents continued to serve their community. PAL offered relief to the most vulnerable population, packing and distributing over 800 bags filled with essentials and comfort supplies to Albany's senior citizens. PAL continues to offer full-day virtual learning today to children of parents who have chosen not to return them to a physical school experience at this time. PAL kids grow up to do great things. Some of our kids are now PAL board members, are proudly serving in the military, are Albany police officers, are doctors, lawyers, nurses, and professors, are going to college, are mentoring current PAL kids, are moms and dads with their kids in PAL programs, and one is even a professional football player.
Just to go into depth about all of the programs that we offer and the programs that we offer now, we have a New York State OCFS licensed school age child care day and after school program. This program, we provide safe and nurturing environment for students to perform their virtual learning if their parent decides to not send them to school, or even if they don't have the option to go to school. During this program, we offer a healthy breakfast and a hot lunch. At our after school program, we provide homework help, a healthy afternoon snack, and a bunch of after school fun, such as arts and crafts projects, science projects, organized games in the gym. We utilize the Madison Park playground across the street. We also provide students social and emotional support, along with teaching them how to verbalize their feelings and problem solve in a positive manner. The youth that we are serving recently doesn't necessarily know how to verbalize what they're feeling. So I've found that this support that we are providing them has really made a difference for a lot of our kids. We also have a ESAP middle school after school program. We partner with the Albany City School District, serving students grades 6 through 8 at Stephen and Harriet Myers Middle School and Edmund O'Neill Middle School. During this program, we provide an hour of tutoring from qualified Albany City School District teachers. Following that, we provide engaging enrichment programs through community outreach with programs like karate, arts and crafts, robotics, coding, orienteering, cooking, photography and writing, financial literacy, 4-H, STEM, sports, African dancing, ROTC, and many others. During this program, we also provide a hot dinner and transportation home if it's needed. A program that we offer twice a week is mentoring. This program serves mentees ages 5 to 12 years old and peer mentors ages 13 to 18 years old. We also take volunteers as mentors from within the community. During this program, we match youth with caring and concerned and interested adults from the community. Mentors and mentees participate in a variety of different activities, such as character and leadership development, health and life skills, sports and recreation programming, arts and crafts, education and career development programs, and activities. The whole point of this program is to promote a healthy sense of community while connecting with community volunteers and law enforcement in a positive, structured, and nurturing environment. For example, the current curriculum that we are running is an entrepreneurship 101. So they are working with their peer mentors and their mentors, focusing on innovative ways that they could make a difference within the community. We also have a Youth Leadership Council, also known as YLC. The Albany PAL Youth Leadership Council is a community service-based teen leadership program made up of high school age students. The youth in this program provide positive peer role models, improve communication between PAL staff and the youth they serve, and perform community service projects. Some of the community service projects we've done within the community are the Madison Park cleanup. During the pandemic, we packaged cloth masks to distribute to the city school district schools. We also have done cleanups in Washington Park and down at our Albany American Little League Park. Explorers is another program that we offer. It is a career education program for high school aged youth who are interested in learning more about the field of law enforcement. Explorers emphasize 5 areas of importance: career opportunities, service learning, leadership experience, life skills, and character education. The mission of the Explorer program is to serve others by helping instill core values in young people and in other ways prepare them to make ethical choices throughout their lives so they can achieve their full potential. This program is ran by 2 officers, Officer John Pollock and Officer Nick Schruler. Yeah, okay. During school break camps, we offer a variety of different activities. We cover winter break camp, holiday break camp, and spring break camp. This year, we are unfortunately unable to do a travel camp during spring break because of the pandemic, but typically we would do a variety of field trips such as Basketball Hall of Fame, Bronx Zoo, team building at Gingercook, New York State Museum, and a historic Albany tour. At our other camps, we do arts and crafts, organize games in the gym, science projects, holiday fun, those sort of things. And we serve ages 5 to 13 years old. Our summer camps are actually coming up soon. They are starting at the end of the month and the beginning of July. We have 2 locations. One is here at the PAL Center at 844 Madison Ave, and the other is at the American Little League Park. We serve youth ages 4 to 13 years old. We try to make affordable for all and provide scholarships. We provide breakfast, lunch, and an afternoon snack. They do field trips during this camp to the Valley Cats, Huck Finns, what other ones? Camp Olympics and
Gotcha.
Dutch Apple Cruise and all of those sorts of things. We offer a variety of different sports programming throughout the year. During this programming, we teach skills and tactics of the sport through engaging drills and games while teaching sportsmanship and teamwork. Justin is the one that runs this program. He's our athletic coordinator. We serve youth ages 5 to 13 years old, and we have offered lacrosse, soccer, volleyball, baseball, wiffle ball, flag football, basketball, karate, dance, critical thinking clubs, track, all those sort of things. We have our PAL Basketball Justice League. We have 3 different leagues: an elementary, middle school, and high school league. The divisions that are offered are 8U, 10U, 12U, and 14U. This provides a safe and fun environment for you to be physically active while teaching sportsmanship, teamwork, and life skills. We partner with Albany City public, community, and charter schools to provide school teams, and the APG performs community engagement through bookkeeping, officiating, and coaching. We currently have our Albany American Little League running. This is a volunteer community-based youth program serving youth of the city of Albany. We're serving about 125 boys and girls, Little League ages 4 to 12 years old currently. We focus on having fun while teaching the basic skills of baseball, teamwork, and sportsmanship. We also annually do our citywide elementary track meet. This serves 4th and 5th graders from all elementary schools throughout the city of Albany. It's a fun-filled track and field day of competition and camaraderie. We provide t-shirts, pizza, organized games, competition, and medals. Our bike rodeo serves youth of all ages, teaching bike safety and awareness. It provides a bike safety challenge, free helmets, free food, fun games, face painting and balloons, new bicycle raffle, bike safety vests, and bike safety certificates. It is hosted typically at the Albany Police Headquarters in Albany JCC, and we partner with MVP, Walmart, NABA, Albany Police Department, and Free Wheel Fix. Our back to school backpack giveaway happens every year, serving youth within the city of Albany. Our PAL Care summer campers receive a back to school backpack with school supplies at the end of camp. We provide school supplies such as backpacks, notebooks, folders, pencils, crayons, markers, etc. We partner with Community Resource, Federal Credit Union, and APD. Our Halloween party is another celebration event that we have, serving youth of all ages, providing a safe, fun environment to celebrate Halloween. Games, arts and crafts, safe child IDs, balloon sculptures, face painting, bounce house, haunted house, and candy are offered to all people that attend. We also have a costume contest with gift certificate prizes. Our holiday toy distribution and party, we serve over 300 youth ages 0 to 12 years old annually with our holiday party at the PAL Center. We provide books, toys, stocking stuffers, games, coats, hats and gloves, and a visit with Santa to families within the city of Albany. Spreading holiday cheer to clients at the Center of Disabilities, Ronald McDonald House, and Albany Med Children's Hospital as well. Our Kick It for Kids fundraiser funds Albany PAL sports programming. It's an annual corporate kickball challenge. Corporations and groups within the capital region compete in fun, friendly, and fierce games of kickball for the benefit of some really terrific kids at PAL. The Albany PAL Police Officer Memorial Golf Outing funds our Albany PAL summer programs. Community partners, community members, and police officers come together for a fun day of golf in support of Albany PAL programming. Breakfast of Champions is another fundraiser that we have. It funds Albany PAL youth programs. It's a breakfast honoring community members and those who have made a positive difference in the lives of our PAL youth. We offer 2 different Albany PAL scholarships each year. The Art Mitchell Higher Education Scholarship is offered to 8th grade students enrolled in any public, private, parochial charter schools. They are rewarded $2,500 as a scholarship. They do have to write an essay about their life goals and somebody who's made a positive impact on their life. And we also offer the Dr. Pat Peterson Community Service Award. This is offered to 10th and or 11th graders who participate in PAL programming during their high school years, and they are rewarded $1,000. We also wanted to mention some things that the Capitol Holiday Lights in the Park does other than funding our PAL programming. It designates funds for 3 charities of choice per year, including the Mohawk Hudson Humane Society, Damien Center, Vested Interest in Canines, Ronald McDonald House Charities of Capital District, Alzheimer's Association, Albany Fund for Education, Soldier Inn, Make-A-Wish of Northeastern New York, American Red Cross of Northeastern New York, Regional Food Bank of Northeastern New York. We also perform a food collection for distribution by local food pantries and send local school children through the show for free. This year, we started our senior food distribution and COVID-19 care packages. Twice a month, we deliver food to the St. Vincent seniors, partnering with the St. Vincent Food Pantry. During the pandemic, we purchased, packaged, and delivered over 1,000 bags of cheer to Albany's most vulnerable population during COVID-19 pandemic. The care packages included feel-good snacks, canned goods, hearty meals, fresh produce, toilet paper, soap, comfort items, puzzle books, fresh fruit, and personalized notes of cheer from PAL staff, youth, and board members. We delivered to the following senior locations. We delivered to St. Vincent's, St. Sophia's, and Holy Wisdom Apartments, Hudson Park, B'nai B'rith, South Mall Towers, and Central Towers. This year, we also partnered with Albany County and AT&T to do the hashtag Albany County Stay Safe Teen Social Media Challenge. It was a 16-week challenge, fun weekly social media challenges, including COVID information and safety protocols. Some challenge examples were Recycling Week, Who's the Person Behind the Mask Week, Teacher Appreciation Week, Prom Reimagined, etc. This was engaging teens ages 13 to 18 years old, and there was a weekly winner that received a $25 gift card. Now what do I do?
Tell them that you're going to play the other PowerPoint.
I'm sorry, is that the end of your presentation?
Yeah, we have another PowerPoint that's like pictures and music.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead. Just gotta share your screen again, probably.
Yeah. Is it this one?
From the beginning and then just play.
Is the music gonna play?
Should do. Should as soon as it starts.
Not hearing anything, ladies. Are we supposed to be hearing music, ladies?
I don't think they can hear the music. I think you need to mute yourself on Zoom.
Yeah, no music, sorry. Want to try again?
Zach, can you sing?
Well, what's the song that's playing? Okay, we'll look at the pictures. Very lovely. Hey, Ally and Sherry, when maybe you could send me the video and I can send it out for everybody to watch with the sound afterwards.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I couldn't hear the music.
That's okay. Catherine Costa with the Tenbrook put in the chat what you have to probably do, but that's okay.
It makes all the difference. I also wanted to just add that the majority of our programs are free-based programs, but if there is a charge, we do offer scholarships to everyone. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, we got time for a couple questions. Any other questions for Pal? Oh, Esther has her hand up. Go ahead, Esther.
Whoops. Okay, couldn't get whether I was muted or unmuted. I just want to know how you run all these things with the number of staff you have. It seems unbelievable, really. Like, do you use a lot of volunteers, or do you have people in the community help you organize these events? Like, I just can't believe how many things that you were showing.
Yeah, we do partner with community members and volunteers. A lot of our programming is community and volunteer based. And I always like to say it takes a community. It really does. And to make a difference and to be able to run and offer all of these wonderful programs for the youth within Albany.
And our programs are on a calendar year. So, you know, it's an ongoing thing. They don't all obviously run at once.
So who comes up with your ideas? Like, do you just take ideas from people and then see if you can make something happen, or there's such a wide variety?
Yeah, a good amount of our programs have been going on for years now, and they've just been able to successfully still run, which is a really great thing. But any new programming that we do start or offer we're welcome to take any ideas, and if we are able to start them and get that running, then we are able to do it. But a lot of our programs are programs that have been running for a while now.
And how do you recruit your volunteers? Like,
our volunteer coordinator is actually here, and he can definitely answer that for you.
Well, we certainly, we have plenty of absolutely fantastic volunteers in the city of Albany. I mean, the city is just, you know, chock full of people who are going out and looking to make a difference. We also partner with tons of local organizations, all of the area colleges. You know, they're always fantastic about sending us volunteers. We have a dedicated core of existing volunteers that, you know, come back for a lot of different things. And other than that, I mean, frankly, as the volunteer coordinator, a lot of people just come in off the street and say, how can I help? Which is you know, absolutely fantastic. It's a really, you know, positive feeling that I don't think you get everywhere in the entire world. I think that Albany is very unique in how many people actually want to come forward and make a difference in their community.
so do you collect volunteer information anywhere?
Yep, we have a form that all of our volunteers sign up, and then we you know, use that paperwork that they fill out to you know, capture their data so that we can let them know when there's new opportunities. Plenty of people you know, like the recognition, you know, just saying thank you. Our college, you know, and our school volunteers are always looking for their hours and stuff like that. They can, you know, get all their credits in, you know, get
That's
credit where
good.
credit's due. So yeah, it's a lot of different ways, but all the different puzzle pieces come together to, you know, the big tapestry that is our volunteer community.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think I got the volunteer coordinator's name for the attendance.
He's also our administrative specialist, so it's Jocelyn Pettit.
Was Jocelyn Pettit?
Jocelyn Pettit, yeah.
Great, thanks.
So you can also check out our website, albanypal.org. And we also have a Facebook that we keep updated and a Twitter. And an Instagram, sorry.
Anybody else have any questions? Good.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to share our programs with you.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies, and thank you very much, Jaslyn. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us. We really appreciate it.
You bet, you bet. Thank you. All right, we got up next, Catherine Costo. She is with the Tenbrook Mansion and the Albany County Historical Association. So whenever you're ready, Catherine, go right ahead.
Absolutely. Zach, I want to thank you and Kana for this wonderful opportunity to share our museum's mission and all that we do. So I am going to just share right here in the chat our email and our website so you have it in advance. And I'm going to try that share screen, which I know can be always a bit challenging. So let's just make sure I do this correctly. And share sound. Okay. Hopefully you should hear some music. Okay, well, thank you so much. Hopefully it's, you heard the music, I hope. All right, great. Well, thank you again. I could just give a brief overview of some programs that we have for this summer and fall. Many of you, who has visited the Tenbrook Mansion before? You can use the raise hand, or you can just put up your hand if you'd like. Let me start my video here. You can put up your hand. Anyone's visited before? All right, so we see some hands here. Wonderful. So yes, we hope that you will come again to visit. We are a 501c3 nonprofit community-centered museum. Our name is Albany County Historical Association, but we are actually not county or city funded. We are actually rely on volunteers, memberships, and private donations, as well as grant writing to make our operations possible. We have two historic structures. The most well-known, of course, is the Tenbrook Mansion, as you saw in the video, built in 1798. And at the other end of our historic property, we have an office building built in 1852 to 1856 on North Swan Street. So we have the two ends of the original Tenbrook land plot. We're a 4-acre community green space, and we are open free to our community from dawn until dusk. And we have some exciting new developments coming up for 2021. We partnered with 5 other museums to create immersion tours. So it might be perfect for someone out of town or yourself if you've always wanted to visit different Albany historic sites and museums in a row. We have 3 major themes, the first of which is Albany mansions. So that's, of course, Tenbrook Mansion, Scholar Mansion, and Historic Cherry Hill. And the first of those is starting tomorrow. We have another series in our immersion tour series called Freedom and Opportunity in Albany, because one thing we are committed to is telling the full story of Albany's experience. We're committed to sharing the stories of everyone. And if you notice, the Tenbrook Mansion is the common theme in all of these. At Tenbrook, and again, I'm very grateful to our board for being so supportive of this, and previous interns and previous staff, but we have long been telling the stories of our richly diverse Arbor Hill community. Arbor Hill, of course, was a home for abolitionists, as many of you are familiar with the Myers residence, including people who were working behind the scenes. The person who actually lived at the Tenbrook Mansion the longest was the Alcott family, and they were supporters of abolition. So we tell those stories, and also the role of servants, and certainly also, sadly, there were also enslaved persons, and this is in the original period during the Tenbrooks. So we are committed to telling these full stories. So we have the immersion tours called Freedom and Opportunity in Albany. And this is looking at issues of abolition, being a servant, being enslaved, and also the fight for freedom. And that's a partnership with the Irish American Heritage Museum and the Myers Residence, the Underground Railroad Education Center. And then our last in this series is called Immersion Tours Native Voices, because an American Indian or Native American presence is very important to Albany's history and all of our history in our region. And so this is a partnership with the Albany Institute of History and Art. And it's really reinterpreting our site, seeing indigenous plants, talking about the role of Abraham Tenbrook as someone that we say is interculturally fluent. One of the things we share is the Tenbrooks were bilingual. People in early Albany spoke many languages. There was not just one way of dealing with the world, and the more cultures you could engage with, the more successful you were. So that's an important part of the stories that we share. So we have those immersion tours, which really are kind of geared for adults. So you can sign up for an afternoon and go to these various museums all in one combined ticket. And we're also very excited to announce some very community-centered programs. I always say we are a very walkable museum. I guess I'm very partial, but I feel of all the Albany museums, which are outstanding, I want to say, there's a very big heart at the Tenbrook Mansion, and it's nestled in the heart of Arbor Hill, and it's easy to get to. You can walk to it so easily. We have a series called Living History, and the idea is that history is alive, but also health. So we're sort of punning on that idea. So it's combining hands-on art making projects, health information, and just activities. And this is going to be kicked off on June 19th, so Juneteenth. And we're going to be starting with the idea of planting, doing some really cool handmade upcycled planters for children, also showing planting techniques for sweet potatoes and okra. So we definitely, those were community requests. So again, there's this constant dialogue to get a sense of what's meaningful to our immediate community. And this series continues on July 10th, August 14th, and September 11th. So the idea of plant, kind of harvest, taste, grow, sort of goes through the whole series. We have a free program called Archaeology Day on July 24th, and we have a Children's Bulb Planting Day October 7th, and as well as a scavenger hunt later in the fall. And like the Police Athletic League, all of our programs are free. And I'm also delighted to share, because of the generous donation of a board member, all children's admission to the Tenbrook Mansion is again free in 2021. So we started this in 2020, we continued it in 2021, and we hope to make that, a permanent change. Ways that you can get involved. You're probably seeing a common theme here. It's because of all of you. Spread the word. If you have any visitors coming to come out of town, now that that we're all getting the vaccinations and hopefully things are getting healthier and healthier, please encourage them to come and visit. Come to our gardens. They are free and open to the community. Come and bring your lunch. We have a pack in, pack out, leave no trace policy, but come and enjoy our wonderful gardens. We like to say we have the nicest, the finest lunchroom in all of Albany County. Our gardens are cared for through the volunteer efforts of the Cornell Cooperative Extension Master Gardener Program. And we have a new program called Friends of the Tenbrook Landscape. And that's a way you can get involved. You adopt a section of the landscape and make sure the trash is picked up. We have all the bags, we have gloves, we have a whole kit for you that you can pick up. And then you can visit, usually people come about once every other week, stack any sticks in a pile, and then, other volunteers will take care of that. And our goal is to really keep all of our landscape looking pristine because we are a jewel of Arbor Hill, and we feel ourselves very fortunate to be in Arbor Hill. It's a high need community, but what better place to have a museum? So it's an absolute pleasure to be in Arbor Hill. Are there any other questions? From anyone? Let me see if I can get the gallery view. That might help a little bit.
Does anybody have questions for Catherine?
Yeah, when is the mansion open at this time for tours and such?
Yes, absolutely. Go to our website, www.tenbrookmansion.org. We have our immersion tours, which are on Thursdays, so you can see the dates for that. We have regular tours on Fridays and Saturdays. The gardens are open free to the community from dawn until dusk, and we have many other special events. I would be happy also, if you want to send me your email, I'd be glad to subscribe you to our e-newsletter. And we're always, oh, sure.
Yeah, you also mentioned, I guess the Albany Historical Society is centered there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we actually have a dual name, the Albany County Historical Association and Tenbrook Mansion. So we have a 4-acre site taking care of the Tenbrook Mansion, but our mission is actually to serve all of Albany County. We do this by our museum collections. We do collect artifacts related to all of Albany County. And what we basically do is use the mansion as a prism to understand the rest of the themes in all of our county. We also partner with other smaller historic sites. As you can imagine, with COVID-19, a lot of these smaller, volunteer-run historical societies are somewhat on pause, but they're coming out of that. And so we publicize their events, share information with them as well. And I should also mention we have a reference room. We have an archives cataloging project, and in late this year, we're hoping, or 2022, we'll be opening our reference room, which would be, again, a free space for researchers to do specific research on Albany County history. So books and archives and manuscripts.
Thank you.
Any other questions or?
All right. Anybody else?
Well, we're always looking for committee members, volunteers. Just please come by, or certainly also board members, particularly looking for board members from our Arbor Hill community as well.
I have a question, Catherine. So which neighborhood association is Tenbrook part of? Is it the Tenbrook Preservation League? Is that what it's called?
I actually thank you, Zach. You are the expert on this because I was wondering that as the program started. There's the Tenbrook Triangle Preservation League, but that's a preservation league. And please let me know, is the Arbor Hill, I think it's called Arbor Hill Neighborhood Association? I have not, been in.
Maybe Arbor Hill Neighborhood Association is under that.
Yeah, then we would, I don't know which one we fall under or both. We are.
This is Louise from Sheridan Hollow Neighborhood Association. And when we do things together, it's Arbor Hill Neighborhood Association, Sheridan Hollow Neighborhood Association, and Tenbrook. So they do have a neighborhood association. Todd has actually been the contact.
Oh, okay. I've just had Matt Toporowski. You probably know him from the Preservation League. Okay.
Okay, so there's two different entities there. There's the Neighborhood Association and the Preservation League.
Right. There's the Arbor Hill Neighborhood, Sheridan Hollow, and then the Tenbrook.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And if you happen to have the contact information for Sheridan Hollow, Arbor Hill, I would appreciate that because I don't think I have the most current contact information.
It'd probably be Dr. Brenda Robinson, I think.
Oh, okay.
I can send you that, Catherine.
Perfect. Thank you, Zach.
That's Arbor Hill. I'll send you the one, Kathy, for the Tenbrook Triangle Preservation League.
Well,
that serves as a neighborhood association.
Hey, Louise, can you send me that too?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that information. I'd like that too.
Sure, that'd be wonderful. Yeah, thank you, because we want to make sure we're up to date with everyone.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Catherine, very much. As always, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, committee reports is John O'Grady. Do you have anything tonight, sir?
Next codes committee meeting will be in July, time and date to be announced. And if your neighborhood association wants a representative, just send me an email.
Okay. Common Council report, Jack Flynn, do you have anything to add tonight?
The only major thing is we'll be voting on the tear gas this Monday. We finalized that today, unless something drastic occurs. We plan on voting Monday on the tear gas.
Was there any amendment to the?
No, as of right now, we're voting on Judy's original.
Okay.
For all you, yes. But there is an amendment that is on the agenda. If it goes down, then there is another amendment to it. So it depends on what happens on the vote. But there is, Kelly Kimbo did introduce an amendment, local law M, today. So it obviously depends on Judy's amendment or that one.
Okay. All right. So under new business, we had Sarah Walsh, the Conservation Director of the Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy, to talk about the Nature Bus program. I don't see her on tonight, but there is a Nature Bus program with CDTA this summer. It's going to be a free program. It's going to pick up youth, families from Albany and take you to all different types of nature preserves around the area. So I was holding the flyer that I received because I was supposed to get the go-ahead, but I'm going to just follow up to see. Oh, Sarah Walsh is coming in right now. I am going to bite my tongue and turn it over to Sarah Walsh. All right, good timing, Sarah. Here she's coming. Okay. Hi, Sarah. Just got to unmute yourself. Good timing. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
You're actually right on time, and you're.
Oh, hey! I figured I'd sign on a little early just in case.
Perfect timing. Go right ahead with your presentation.
Great. So I'm here today to present. Actually, tomorrow the press is going to hit, so you guys are getting a very sneak peek of our project that we're calling Nature Bus. So we reached out to CDTA earlier this year and said, how can we get people from downtown Albany easily to our preserves? We have 20 preserves across the capital region. And how can we facilitate closing the nature gap? The city of Albany has some beautiful green spaces. So I don't want to say that isn't happening already, but how can we get them out into deeper wilderness or more natural nature experiences? So we reached out to CDTA and started doing the routing. And as we started looking at where the bus would go, we said, oh, it'll go by Five Rivers, it'll go by Pine Hollow Arboretum. And they said, do you know all of these folks? And I said, yeah, I do. We've all worked together for years on the same goal of getting people outside, enjoying nature, and protecting the environment. So we brought all of these partners together, and we are launching on June 12th, Nature Bus, which is free service from the south end of Albany, Sheridan Hollow, and also Arbor Hill areas. You can jump the bus Saturdays, 5 different times, and go to 2 of our preserves. So I didn't quite introduce myself properly. Maybe you did, Zachary, but I'm Sarah Walsh from Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy. To take a step back, I'm their conservation director and have been there for 4 years. And so with our preserves not being too far from downtown Albany, we wanted to find easy conduit to get there. And CDTA being a service organization and already very well recognized in the communities we wanted to serve, they were a natural fit. When we brought the idea of Nature Bus to all the partners in the Delmar, Slingerlands, Voorheesville area, they were ecstatic and so happy to help. So not only did they offer to be stops on Nature Bus, but they also brought funding to the table to help pay for it, to offset the cost, to ensure that it's free for all attendees. Tomorrow we will launch the press release so that you'll see that hopefully hitting newspapers and online media tomorrow. But again, every Saturday starting June 12th all the way through September 24th, anybody can jump the bus for free and go to locations. So just to give you a highlight of what those locations are, it starts at the Normanskill West Preserve, which is owned by Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy. It will also go to Five Rivers Environmental Education Center, which is a DEC facility. Pine Hollow Arboretum is another small nonprofit that does mostly trees and tree identification. They have a beautiful spot right in Slingerlands. We'll have 3 locations where the bus will stop along the Helderberg-Hudson Rail Trail. So of course, you may know that actually all terminates the south end of Albany. So people could get on the bus at the south end, ride up the trail, and then have the easier pedal down the south end. It's not that hard to pedal up, but you know, if you're just getting started, it's a good way to get going. And then they will also go, the bus will take folks out to Lawson's Lake, which is a county park. It will take folks to our Bennett Hill Preserve, which is one of our most popular spots out in Clarksville. It will also go up to Thatcher Park and the visitor center there as well. This could not be happening without partnerships with MVP Health, Friends of Thatcher Park, Department of Environmental Conservation, and some private funding that will also support Nature Bus as well. So the reason why I wanted to speak to you all is one of the biggest ways that we want to have this be a successful effort is by reaching to neighborhood associations and other community groups to help talk Nature Bus up to the people in your community. One of the biggest barriers we found, particularly with people of color and accessing nature, is cost. So we took care of that, but also having the confidence to do something like this. So we have ensured that all the trails and locations where people are going are really well marked. When they hop off the bus, the trailhead is right there. There's no guessing. So even Normanskill West, Normanskill Boulevard, intersects Delaware Avenue. Normally there's a CDTA stop right there, but the bus is going to go down Normanskill Boulevard directly to the trailhead to ensure that people aren't walking and wondering, why am I in this weird business complex? So it'll get them right to the trailhead and give them that success right off the bat. We've also created an FAQ flyer, which, Zachary, did I provide that to you?
Yes, you did.
Okay, and I will do the quickest of quickest screen shares here because I know I'm supposed to be brief.
That's okay.
So if you can see the screen, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. So this is just, and I'll zoom out here. This is our 2-page flyer that talks about where you can get on the bus, where will the bus take you. And then if you go on the second page, we have this whole good to know before you go. And so what is at each of the sites? Is there a bathroom? Will your cell phone work? What happens if I get lost? Am I stuck at locations all day? What should I bring? What should I wear? And should I bring my kids? Is it safe? And so we've tried to cover some of those barriers that we have that have come up in conversations when we've talked about what are these barriers in this nature gap. And so we're hoping that through providing this flyer, and Zachary, there's a newer version that just came out today that I will email you.
Just about
Yeah.
to say.
If you don't mind distributing it among everyone on the call this evening, that would be great. And share it with your neighborhood association, folks in your neighborhood. These are easy to print and just put up around, but also just getting the buzz out there. And you can see where you can get on the bus, Second, Whitehall in Delaware, Whitehall in New Scotland, but also Livingston and Lark, North Pearl and State, Second and South Pearl. So this will be available so that folks can have a good idea of where to go. And then also CDTA is producing their classic schedule. So the bus will stop at every location 4 to 5 times a day. You're only at every location for as little as an hour and 20 minutes. You could stay all day if you want, but just make sure you get that last bus. And that's my really quick pitch. So just giving you sort of behind the scenes, hoping you'll spread the word so we can build confidence in communities and get people riding that bus so that we can not only have this service again next year, but hopefully expand it to other underserved communities.
Great. And Sarah, I'm going to forward that also to the community outreach coordinator for the city. I think that'd be a good person to have this. And also City Hall normally has a table that has pamphlets and flyers when you walk in. So this might be a good thing to put there.
Yeah, I've been in touch with Dennis. Is that who your contact is?
I know Dennis. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's aware, and we're hoping, well, we've got this on the mayor's radar too. So, but that's great. Yes, please share widely. And I encourage everybody, within your networks to share this widely too. I know there are folks who don't live in these communities who are like, well, I'm going to take CDTA from a stop in my community over to a nature bus stop and still be able to get the bus. Can I do that? And the answer is yes. So even though we're really targeting underserved communities, I think even the adjacent communities will have access to the bus as well. So I think that it'll be a multi-pronged approach. The other partner I didn't mention, who I should have, is Friends of Tivoli Lake Farm and Preserve. I don't know if I got that right.
Lake Preserve and Farm.
Thank you. Thank you, John. And so they are serving as one of the stops within the city, which is a beautiful natural green space where people can interact with farm animals and nature right there at their backyard too. So I think it's a great partnership, great highlight of all the great things that the Capital Region can offer. And hopefully we're breaking down some barriers to make sure everybody can do it.
Hey, Zach, it's Howie. I have a question.
Go ahead, Howie.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, I think this is great. And if I read quickly your frequently asked questions, I really didn't see anything about ticks.
Yes, so that's a great question, Howie. And we at all of the preserves and all of the places, there is signage everywhere about ticks. And we will be talking to MVP about possible rollout of tick information to actually go on the bus, because I know that's been one of the great concerns for everybody anywhere in New York is what are ticks, how do we deal with them, and how to prevent any major issues. So
well, right, but here's the reason why. But once you're on the bus, though, it might be a little late, like for example, to wear long sleeves. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring up about the frequently asked questions, is maybe how should I dress?
Yeah, I think we say, what do you wear? And we talk about let me just pull it up again and remind myself.
And see.
So it says sturdy shoes, extra layer of clothing, bottle of water, And a hat and sunscreen are suggested, as well as bug spray to repel ticks.
Oh, good. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's there.
It's there.
All right. And just one other question. I'm a big fan of the pine bush. I was just curious why it wasn't there.
So we tried to partner with the Pine Bush. We work really closely with them and help them acquire properties to enroll into the larger Pine Bush lands as Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy. They are only accessible via Flex, which is a smaller bus that's sort of hail. It's like the taxi version of CDTA. And we were going to figure out how we could get that free so that people could just hail a CDTA Flex. But there's nothing that CDTA could put in place that would allow them to hail only to Pine Bush. So somebody could get a free pass and they could go to the mall, they could go grocery shopping, they could go anywhere. And so we're still trying to figure out how to include the Pine Bush in a thoughtful way to make sure that people can get there as well. The other thing was Pine Bush had Flex and they had advertised it and done it for free for a short term, but people tended not to use it. And I think that part of the reason was calls like this didn't happen where there was this sort of working with the community to get the word out that it was available so that people would actually use it. So I'm hoping, my biggest hope actually, is to be able to do a second version or a second leg. Sorry, my golden retriever is very excited. To be able to serve the pine bush as well, because that habitat not only is some of the rarest in the world, but some of the most interesting to visit. So I appreciate your question, Howie.
A question, please.
Go ahead, John.
The two locations, State and North Pearl and State and South Pearl. So I assume that means that the bus you can get the bus in either direction. It's diagonal stops. Is that?
I believe so. That's the second time I've gotten that question today, though. So I need to figure that out with CDTA because North Pearl and South Pearl State sounds like it's the same location, right?
Well,
so
it'd be diagonal, and the buses we go in a different direction. So I assume lets people not have to cross the street if they're going in.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's what they mean because they actually did like a pre-drive of every single stop to ensure safety at every location. So that's a really good point, John. Thank you. Did I see Jack?
I'm pretty familiar with that. I'm pretty familiar with that. They have, they're very major stops and they're kind of across the street from each other, but they go in different directions. The bus takes kind of a loop. It goes down State and then takes a loop and comes back and goes back up. So,
gotcha.
The buses are going in different directions because of the way State Street is set up.
Yeah, it's basically a boulevard, right? Jack, did you?
Yeah, do you know if the buses are going to have the bike racks in the front?
They will. They're
you.
also hoping to run the electric bus for most of this service to sort of head in that whole green theme, which is pretty cool.
Thank you, because I'd like to take my bike out there on a bus, but just come back and bike.
Yes, absolutely.
Or vice versa.
We're also hoping, now mind you, this whole brainchild started in like February. So the rollout of this is happening very rapidly. So we'll have to work out some kinks, but we're also hoping to do some of the CDPHP bike share stuff so that at certain Saturdays, you might be able to get off at Hilton Barn, for example, and CDPHP bikes are sitting there. And you can just get on a bike instead of getting on the bus and head down the hill to the south end of Albany.
Does anybody else have a question for Sarah?
Not a question, but it's a great idea. Thanks so much for organizing it and setting it up. And Jack, you should join me. We'll ride up the trail and then we'll go out to the pine bush. So, we don't need the hail bus. Okay.
If you go with me, I'll do the whole 26 miles.
All right. I'm in.
That sounds great, you guys.
Okay, Sarah, well, if you can give me that finalized flyer, I can send it out in short order. So thank you, Sarah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sarah,
Thank you so much for the opportunity to address you all this evening. And I appreciate any outreach you can do ahead of this to build some confidence in the communities. And maybe I'll see you on the bus.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, the next new business item, we have Ed Brennan. He's a good friend of mine from the Norman School Neighborhood Association. He's the president of the Albany Bicycle Coalition, and he's here to talk about the Patroon Creek Trail Study. So Ed, you're up, sir. Thanks for coming.
Hi, thank you. Everybody hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how many people are familiar with or have heard of the Patroon Creek Greenway? If you could raise your hands. Okay, not a lot of hands going up, but the Patroon Creek, and it's interesting, she was just talking about the Helderberg rail trail, because the Patroon Creek Greenway project has the potential of creating for north of Albany a multi-use trail similar to what the South End has with the Albany County Rail Trail. Unlike the Albany County Rail Trail, which only has really one entrance in the city of Albany, though, the Patroon Creek Greenway Trail would have access points through connecting a number of neighborhoods in Albany and also a number of parks in Albany. It would run, original idea of it would be running from the Hudson River by the Livingston Avenue Bridge all the way out west to the 6 Mile Waterworks. Much of the trail is already there. Some people in the Bike Coalition and a number of other people have ridden various parts of it, and you can walk and ride different parts of it now. It's sort of, it's an undeveloped kind of trail. A lot of it is mostly rights of way that's owned by the water department or National Grid. But the concept of the Patroon Creek Greenway Trail goes back actually to about 2004 to a study that was done by Capital District Transportation Committee. Can I share my screen?
You sure can, Ed. Go ahead.
See if I can share screen. Okay. Share. Okay, can folks see this screen here now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just a page from the original study back in 2004. And you can see this is the green dotted line is the Patroon Creek Greenway, and the purple dotted lines are existing trails. So the purple line that runs along the river, that's the Corning Trail. And the purple dotted line out there, that's the 6 Mile Waterworks Trail, which is already in existence, as I said. And the trail basically followed along pretty much along the I-90 corridor. It passed the, as I said, started at the Livingston Avenue Bridge. It passes by the Tivoli Preserve. It crosses the railroad tracks that are down in that gully there underneath I-90, and goes out and crosses underneath Everett Road and crosses Central Avenue. Some of you have actually noticed like this trail off of Central Avenue, just as you get past right around where it goes, where I-90 goes over, you say, what's that little trail that goes off to the right? And it's like a little chain fence there, but that's the Patroon Creek Trail. And then it goes on out, goes near the SUNY campus. So there's possible access to the SUNY campus, and finishes off out by the, what is now the traffic circle, that's out by the 6 Mile Waterworks. So so apart from a few promoters like the Albany Bicycle Coalition, this study that CDTC did back in 2009, I guess, or 2004, it sort of gathered dust for a very long time. It started to get resurrected in 2019 when CDTC, Capital District Transportation Committee, which is like what they call the MTO. It basically finances or spreads out a lot of federal monies to different highway, road, and trail projects throughout the area. And they did this CDTC trail study, which was trying to get a vision for connecting trails, foot and bicycle trails throughout the 4-county region that it encompasses. So Albany, Schenectady, Rensselaer, and Saratoga, with an idea of creating sort of like a trail network. And as part of their trail network, they included their old study, the Patroon Creek Greenway. Now, when the Albany City did its recently came out with its bicycle and pedestrian master plan, they also picked up on this on the study. So you'll see if you look at the brand new bicycle pedestrian master plan, you see the green dotted line, which is one idea of where, you know, they're not actually, it's a dotted line because, excuse me, they're not quite sure exactly where it's going to run, but there it is again, the Patroon Creek Greenway. Now, the other thing that's recent development is that on top of including it in the master plan, they also secured funding for a study that's going to get kicked off this summer. And just how can we make this thing a reality? So the city does have funding. They've got $100,000 fund. They've got a contractor picked out, and they're going to have a public comment and a public education period about this. And so why I'm coming to you now is to try to get people interested in it, and seeing what can it really do for the city of Albany and the communities along the way. So as I said, they've got the contractor, and since the time of the original study also, there's been some other significant developments and milestones at Albany that maybe we want to, it's time to really rethink what the original concept was for the Patroon Creek Greenway, because originally it was very much a greenway. It's rather, the original concept is very bucolic. A lot of this is very undeveloped. It goes through a lot of forest lands and gullies and pretty much, you know, along the I-90, as I said, but also along the train tracks. It's not connected to a lot of communities in the original concept. But since that time of the original plan, we've had the Albany Skyway project come out. So there's a possibility for a new starting place for the Patroon Creek Greenway. We've also had the Tivoli Park revitalization and the daylighting of the Patroon Creek itself there. The Albany County Master Plan, the Albany City Pedestrian Master Plan, with its emphasis on Albany's transportation network being more equitable for people who don't necessarily use cars. We've had the aforementioned the CDTC Trails Plan, and together the plans are important because, you know, plans may or may not ever come to fruition, but by having the plans in place, it's a lot easier to get funding, to go to state and federal resources and say, yes, we've gone through this planning process. This is our plan. It's connected to a regional plan, and so it's easier to get funding that way. But another important development that we've all gone through in the past year and a half is COVID. And there's been a huge surge of people that have been out looking for places to safely walk and bicycle. And going to CDTC meetings, so they've done trail counts, and it's been just enormous how much more popular these trails have become. But the idea of starting in, if you look at this graphic that I've got here of the proposed bike network out of the Albany City Plan, this blue curved line here is the Skyway, okay? And it dumps off and at the bottom of Clinton Avenue at Broadway and Clinton. And they're talking about developing that with the blue line there being what they call a protected bike lane, which connects into the existing purple bike lanes on Clinton Avenue, but also connects to the purple bike lanes that go up by Tenbrook. Is it Tenbrook Place? Tenbrook Avenue? Tenbrook. Yeah, Tenbrook Place, which actually coincidentally goes near the Tenbrook Mansion, right? And if you go out there and you bike from, you know, down the bottom of Broadway, this is the much easier way to get up that hill, because instead of going straight up Clinton Avenue, which is, you know, can be a little steep, if you go up Tenbrook, which turns into Manning, another part of Manning. Manning is one of those streets in Albany that shows up all over the place, but there's a part of Manning Boulevard or Manning that goes up the hill, sort of a curving, not quite so steep way, and runs into, I'm losing the name of the road up here, Northern Boulevard. eventually hit Northern Boulevard, which takes you out again, right over here by the Tivoli Preserve. Okay, and where you've got trails that have been newly redone inside the Tivoli Preserve, which is one possible access point to the with the original concept of the Patroon Creek Greenway there, or you can actually continue on street, like go right through Tivoli Preserve and connect your Patroon Creek Greenway into not only Arbor Hill, but also into the West End, West Hill area as well. And then connect back up into the original Patroon Creek Greenway over by Everett Road. There's the two advantages to doing that is, one, you're opening up that trail so people can actually use it in the community for biking and hiking, and so that they can access the trails themselves. And you're connecting communities too, for people that don't have cars. You're connecting people to downtown, and you're connecting people to their parks. In addition to the Tivoli Park, you're also going by the Lark, the park, I think it's called Lark Park, right? The Arbor Hill / Lark Park, which is along Manning Boulevard over there. And once you're back on the this section here of the Patroon Creek Greenway between Everett and all the way out to the 6 Mile Waterworks, that is pretty much there. It's as I said, that's the easier part to the easier lift, if you will. If you have to provide money to build the trail, because it's, as I said, it's already there, you can actually walk it or ride it. There is one section around Yarborough Avenue, if people know where that is, that would be on street, that connects from one side of the trail back to the trail that finishes off through this wooded area back over near the and finishes off near the circle by Everett Road and across from the 6 Mile Waterworks. But as I said, hopefully, my idea is just coming here is just to get people interested, hopefully be able to start thinking about it, and hopefully contribute to the public comment period that's coming up. All right, that's about it's good. Any questions about the Greenway? Okay, thank you very much. So you expect to see some announcements in June or July as far as when those meetings, they'll hopefully be Zoom meetings or in-person meetings will be happening. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Ed. I appreciate it. All right, forums coming up, Cana forums. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, there's going to be a forum, League of Women Voters, Cana, focus churches of the 6th Ward and Capital District Latinos with candidates Jeff Mayo, Gabriela Romero, Susan Petto. Richard Olivier Marius has recently left the race in the 6th Ward, so we're now down to 3 candidates. June 8th, the 5th Ward, I'll actually be moderating that evening. It's going to be sponsored by Cana League of Women Voters, NAACP. June 14th, we're going to have a Meet the Candidate event for Deborah Zamer from the 14th Ward. And we might be doing one on the 15th, but I'm not sure. Any other new business, folks?
I just wanted to mention 1st and 7th Ward candidates night with the league is Thursday, June 10th. I don't think we're going to be able to do the 1st Ward because only one candidate's participating, but we're definitely doing the 7th Ward, June 10th, 7 o'clock online.
Hey, Zach, it's Greg. I just have one quick question. It's for Ed Brennan. Ed, just a quick, sorry about that, folks. Just a quick, because it just dawned on me. Quick question in regards to those bike trails.
Yeah.
I'm guessing yes. Those will be open year round? And in the winter, how will they be cleared?
Trying to.
And if you don't know or don't have, that's okay. I'm just wondering because I know a lot of my friends do like to bike year round. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I'm not sure. Am I muted or can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like the Albany County Rail Trail, that's not clear. So it's really, it's up to the municipality to decide if it's important enough to send out, clearing equipment. I think it's going to be a matter of demand. And it's a chicken or the egg kind of thing. Whereas if you get enough people out there that, and you see enough of a bike hiking community that demands that the areas be cleared, then they'll be cleared. If, that's my own thought.
Okay, no, cool. Keep doing great things. That's a good job you're doing.
All right, thank you.
Great. All right. Thanks, Greg. Anybody else have any new business?
Yeah, hi, it's Christine. I just have a quick question. Could you repeat the information for tomorrow night's candidate forum?
Sure, Christine. So it's going to be a 6th Ward Candidates Forum at 6 o'clock. It's co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters, Albany County, Cana, Capital District, Latinos, and the Focus Churches of the 6th Ward. And it's going to be Jeff Mayo, Gabriela Romero, and Susan Petto.
Is it going to be on Facebook or is it in person? Facebook.
Yeah. If you know where Cana's Facebook is, it's going to be streamed there, and it's going to be streamed probably to the League of Women Voters, Capital District Latinos.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So future meetings coming up, September 1st. We do break July and August. September 1st, we have Jordan Carlio Evangelist. He's the Director of Community and Media Relations for the University of Albany. We have David Hochfelder. He was at last month's meeting. As we recall, he's from 98 Acres in Albany. He had significant technical problems. So I spoke with David, and hopefully by September, we may be back in the auditorium. I'm not sure. I'm hopeful. I'll be waiting on Scott Jarzambek for that. But he's going to come back and he's going to deliver his presentation again, and we're going to make sure we can all hear it. And then Eva Bass, she's the Community Outreach Coordinator for the City of Albany. She'll be coming in September. October 6th, Betsy Mercaliano with BirthNet. And Maria Markovich, she was supposed to be here tonight. She's co-chair of Housing for All. And then in November, not sure. Is Howie still on? I was thinking about maybe doing the neighborhood go around. I'm not sure if it kind of floats around. Does anybody know the neighborhood?
Yeah, you can hear me, Zach?
Go ahead, Howie.
So generally, I did it, usually it was at the beginning of the year. January 1 was sometime we did it, but it could be almost any time.
Do you want to tell everybody what the neighborhood go around
is? Yeah, the neighborhood go around it's just neighborhood associations talk about what they did in the past year. And it doesn't, doesn't have to be the calendar year. It could just be the previous 12 months and what they have planned for the upcoming months.
Good.
And generally, I found in the past, right, Cana members really liked it because you really got some best practices from other neighborhood associations.
Good. All right. Well, we'll revisit that.
Good thing I didn't fall asleep there, Zach.
What's that?
I said it's a good thing I didn't fall asleep when you asked, couldn't answer your question.
All right. Does anybody have anything else tonight? I do want to note that Councilman Flynn offered at one point to have a get together at the House Club. So I was thinking maybe we might get something put together between now and the next meeting, a little get together. So I'll be in touch. All right. All right, everybody. We'll have a great night.
Thanks, Zach. You too. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll nice meeting. Goodbye.
Thank you. Zach. Have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye-bye.
And have a good summer.
Thank you.
Yes, you too.
Have fun.
Thanks, everybody.